Very curious to see how the first 10 overs in a brand new venue plays out. And we've sort of got our answer. Circumspect from Punjab, still getting a feel of the surface. And they've lost 3 wickets in the bargain, only putting on 56 runs in 10 overs. So whether or not that tells a story remains to be seen in the next 10. But let's remind you of where the numbers stand, where the match stands at this stage. This is a summary. 56 for 3, a wicket for Shivam Mavi, who's bowled out his 4 overs, 1 for 13, wicket to Prasidh Krishna and 1 to Pat Cummins towards the end of that short spell of his. Still haven't seen Varun Chakravarti come into bowl. Only man holding out from the Punjab side is Mayank Agarwal. I'm in the company of Joy Bhattacharjya. Joy, 10 overs, first time we are seeing Ahmedabad as a venue in this tournament. Can we look too much into it, or have Punjab just been too cautious?
I think Punjab have been cautious, and I think Kolkata bowled brilliantly. They gave also Mavi bowled well, and they gave him that extra over. They finished his spell. Clearly, it means that they're holding back Varun Chakravarti. He's going to come in from now onwards. But what has happened is the fact that somebody like a Mavi, who they regard as their 5th bowler, is gone for just 13 and 4 is really bad news for Punjab, not to add to the fact that they've lost 3 very critical wickets.
Yes, they certainly have. KL Rahul being the obvious one, because he's the talisman. He's the one who's taken them in, batting first, stays in there. I was listening into commentary, and there was a suggestion that Rahul is Rahul. Mayank Agarwal should be the aggressor, and even if he loses wickets, so be it. But it happened just the other way. Rahul suddenly decided that I need to go. Hits one big shot, gets out next ball.
Yeah, he not only gets out, I was just thinking that of the 3 sixes we saw, 2 of them are top edges. So, when you look at Pat Cummins bowling, he's gone for 20 in 2 overs. 2 of those are top edges, which also tells you how small the boundaries are. And the fact that the ball is coming on, which means that I can't see any real devils in this pitch. So Punjab will have to bat out of their skins if they're going to make it a meaningful total. Otherwise, this is going to be a walk in the park for Kolkata. It's just the kind of game they'll need to, sort of recover their confidence.
Yeah, they'd need a win, and they'd need a big win, as you can see when you're at the bottom of the table. And certainly, if you have a look at the bowling, it's something for a change they'd want to look at over and over again. We already mentioned Shivam Mavi's spell, full spell, including 15 dot deliveries. I think that itself, along with the wicket, tells you how circumspect they've been. Joy mentioned Pat Cummins' spell, which includes a couple of top edges, so we won't read into that as expensive yet. But the depth in the bowling, add one more name to that, Varun Chakravarti, who's bowling the 11th, Joy.
Yes, there's tremendous depth in the bowling. And if the pitch is going to slow down, that means it's going to be more and more difficult to hit. They have 3 overs of Sunil Narayan, 3 overs of Varun Chakravarti after this. Andre Russell, who bowls well at the death. I think Kolkata's plans are set. It needs somebody to bat out of their skins. And if there's somebody, I'd say that Nicholas Pooran, going by whatever his pedigree is the man to do it. I mean, Shah Rukh Khan has done well for them. Nicholas Pooran has not got them runs. If this is the day for Nicholas Pooran, because there's no other way. I think Mayank Agarwal has now played himself into such a shell. And I was looking at it. He's actually batted more than 5 overs for 30 runs. And if you're batting 5 overs for 30 runs, I mean, either your team should be 78 for 7 or something like that, or there's something really wrong with that.
Well, Nicholas Pooran better believe in something called the law of averages, because if that is on his side, then expect 80 from him, because it's been a woeful tournament, not entirely of his own doing. One lovely connect that went first ball. He was out once without even facing a ball. So it's just been one of those. The stars have been against him so far.
Yeah, the stars have been against him. Punjab will really be hoping that the stars are with him this time, because this is a match that even if they lose, they need to lose closely. What they can't afford is a huge battering on their run rate. 2 and 4 they'll take and say that, fine, we'll survive, to fight another day. But they can't go down with the Kolkata chasing it down in 12, 13 overs. That's going to be really bad for them.
Quick confirmation of the points table and exactly why we are saying that. They are almost in the top half. They've picked up those 4 points, but it's that net run rate that they wouldn't like to see go southwards, which is why whatever happens in this game, they'll need to keep an eye on that. Just to conclude here on Cricbuzz Comm box, it's not quite Chennai, so we can't guarantee that 135s will be all right for you. But from this stage, they don't really have an option. 11 overs, 60. What kind of total will they be telling themselves from the dugout?
I think they'll turn and say 140. If they can get to 140, they'll be very, very fortunate. 140 will be good for them, unless somebody plays out their skin. Because there is nothing in this surface to indicate that it's that difficult to pitch to bat. I mean, there was very clear bounce turn in Chennai, very stickiness and turn. There are not such clear indications are certainly not there. It almost seems as if, to a certain extent, good bowling and playing themselves into a shell, not taking aggressive shots, has put put Punjab into a complete hole.
Well, there we have it. Someone will have to play out of their skin. It's not going to be Rahul. It's not going to be Chris Gayle, because he's been dismissed first ball. And remember, these are the two guys who were key for them. And I think before we sign off, Joy, we should quickly analyze a third wicket, because it was the fag end. The Combox curse worked at the very fag end. One more wicket has fallen. This time it's to Sunil Narayan. And it is the end of Mayank Agarwal. Big wicket. That might just change the 140 as well.
Yeah, big wicket. I'm not sure which way it goes, because Mayank Agarwal had got himself into such a hole that, somewhere mentally he was not there at all. Had taken 30 to 33 balls. He was struggling to hit the ball. So maybe it clears the deck. Shah Rukh Khan will come in with probably a much clearer mind at this stage. But they don't have much batting to follow after that. I think there's Moses Henriques and Chris Jordan after that. But it's these two now who've got to do whatever they need to do. So the Combox curse worked, or depending on which side you look at it, either worked or really hurt a team. But there it is.
It's been very consistent, very, very consistent as of now. Well, that's all we have on Cricbuzz Combox. All we can say is, when these two teams play, only one Shah Rukh Khan can come on top. At the moment, it looks like the actor is going to do better than the batsman, unless can pull something out of the bag. We'll see you at the end.